Welcome to Oxford Community Television News. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. And coming up this week, what happened to our chamber director, and see how Oxford Township officials voted themselves a raise.
Stay tuned and learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Oxford Chamber of Commerce Director Holly Bills feels that her release from her 5-year job as director of the Oxford organization was unjustified, and at the very least, that the manner in which she was let go was unprofessional and non-respectful. She explained that after returning from vacation, she returned to find her office door locked, and apparently chamber board members had cleaned out her office, including personal items. She feels that she was blindsided with no indication that her termination might be imminent. When hired, Holly signed an at-will agreement which allows either the employer or the employee to terminate the contract at any time and without justification. Debbie Wren, Chamber Board President, would not comment on the termination, only to say that the Chamber Board had decided to go in a different direction and was following the proclamation of those officers on the board.
The Oxford Myers store may be getting a drive-through for their pharmacy, however, not before existing landscaping is improved. Oxford Township Planning Commission Chair Todd Bell instructed Myers real estate manager to fix their neglected landscaping first. They will be required to bring the property up to code by replacing dead plants, shrubs, trees, and eliminating weeds. Also, they would be required to provide a timely watering schedule and a fertilization schedule to assure a healthy new plant life around the building. Bell said if Myers does not make these improvements, they will not get the permit from the township.
Well, it looks like that Burdick Street and what is known as Cemetery Hill won't be repaired anytime soon. For the 4th straight year, Oxford's request to the Oakland County Federal and Committee FAC has been denied. Funds to repair and improve the 1,795-foot stretch of road within the village. And for years, travelers have complained about car-gobbling potholes and tar patches. The Village of Oxford has no funding to go forward with the project on its own. Township officials have suggested that they might assist in the repair project by providing some road materials and possible a financial loan to the village. An estimated cost for the project would be about $450,000. Oxford Village Council members continue to search for a financial remedy. Until then, watch out for those potholes and road patches.
Parents, if you have any concerns for your children's protection at the Oxford school system, rest assured that they are safe because there are new security procedures in place at the schools. The new school gate security system will require parents, volunteers, and all visitors to present their state-issued driver's license for identification. The front office will swipe the card and provide instant information to the school officials, alerting threats of sex offenders or other persons of interest attempting to enter the school. How's that for safe, instant, fast technology?
Believe it or not, spring isn't that far away. You can tell because yesterday I saw several Michigan Robins and an Enbridge truck. Remember Enbridge? They're the Canadian-based oil company running a new pipeline through several of our communities, including Oxford and Addison townships. Last fall, Enbridge announced that they would return in the spring, but prior to continuing the construction project, they would meet with residents to give them an idea of what's going to happen and answer questions. The first of several meetings will take place March 12th, 7 p.m. at the Veterans Memorial Civic Center, 28 North Washington Street, downtown Oxford. Stay tuned to Oxford News this week for updates on this story.
Oxford Parks and Recs officials are asking residents to fill out a survey about a proposal to construct a new community center. Parks and Recs Director Ron Davis says by residents filling out this ensuing questionnaire, they will know what direction to take their plans. Davis said the input is an easy task and can be done online by going to the website www.oxparkrec.org, or you can pick up a form at the Oxford Village Municipal Complex at 20 West Burdick in Oxford.
It appears that Oxford has 2 interested parties who would like to purchase the 3.5-acre property located on Glaspie Street and owned by the village. The property was purchased by the village for $700,000 as an investment, and that was just before property values spiraled downward in 2008. Although Village Council has approved up to $3,000 for an appraisal, a true appraisal value of the property is yet to be received. The three-person committee appointed by the Village Council has made it clear that no serious negotiations can start until the value is defined by a selected appraisal company. And even so, letters of intent purchase were received by Oxford Village Council from Raven Engineering, a local manufacturing firm whose starting bid is at $200,000, and Puritan Magnetics, also a local manufacturer with a starting bid of $300,000.
With all that money tossed around in a 4-3 vote, the Oxford Township Board gave township officials a hefty raise last week. The approval gave Treasurer of Joe Ferrari and Clerk Curtis Wright a nearly $4,000 per year raise from $55,000 to $59,000. Supervisor Bill Dunn's income went from $66,000 to $68,000 per year, effective March 1st. In spite of Trustee Belair's insistence that the salary of the trio is in the ballpark with like communities, all three officials voted for the increase, and Trustee Patty Durr joined in to make it a majority. Trustees Jack Curtis and Sue Bellairs and Buck Kreiderman voted against the raise. Bellairs was also quick to point out that the raises should not be awarded at this time, especially since each three of the officials receive a very healthy $30,000 benefit package in addition to their normal pay. I don't know, Elgin, it seems like this is not probably a good time to be tossing raises around, but we'll see how the community feels about it. We haven't heard any feedback yet, but
no, that is what it
lucky
is.
them.
But another subject too that we had talked about, I mentioned, on the news strip here, is that Burdick Street needs to be repaired, and it needs to be repaired. It's kind of ironic that there's a cemetery on that hill.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It might be an appropriate place for all those potholes. I know I hit it last week, and I thought I was going to lose a back tire. And we've been trying for years to get some assistance with that. And at one time, I thought the township was going to help out. What happened with that?
Well, the township is still possibly helping out with that, but they went in with the village to attempt to get a grant, from the state, but that was turned down. So that never materialized. But right now, it's a disastrous situation. There's a pothole that's about the size of the Grand Canyon in there right now, and they actually have a police car at the top of the hill cautioning people to slow down.
That's a shame. Well, maybe we can talk that township into giving some of their extra cash to the village and township residents, because we're all going to lose some parts from our car.
Well, I believe strongly it'll be repaired.
I hope
They'll do
so.
the right thing
I
here.
hope so.
Eventually dig up the money, if not in a pothole.
No, we need it. We need some help. That's it for our local news this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and more, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader at any one of our local stores.
Coming up next on OCTV, more news with local sports, and also with Dave Kenny and his Auto Talk Show and Science in the News. Right after their reports, I'll be back with your weekly calendar of events.
This is Oxford Community Television News, and I'm Terry Stiles.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always to be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching. This program is brought to you by Montana's Rib and Chop House, known for their delicious baby back ribs, certified Angus steaks, and fresh Eastern seafood dinners, located at 700 North Lapeer Road.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, President Barack Obama directed his administration to issue the next round of fuel efficiency and greenhouse gas standards for medium and heavy-duty vehicles by March of 2016. The standards would impose tougher fuel economy standards on heavy-duty pickup trucks and vans. They would build upon rules that went into effect in model year 2013, setting a fleet-wide average for each manufacturer of heavy-duty vehicles based on the average carrying and towing capacity of that manufacturer's vehicles. The higher mileage standards are part of Obama's strategy for energy security and dealing with climate change, the White House said in a statement. The administration previously set a standard requiring automakers to double fuel economy standards for their fleets to 54 miles per gallon by 2025. As part of the action, the EPA and Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are being directed to issue a notice of proposed rulemaking by March of next year. In our next story, by the time the 2015 aluminum body Ford F-150 hits dealerships in the fourth quarter, thousands of collision repair technicians, insurance estimators, and Ford field staffers and others will have gone to school in one of the biggest industry training programs ever. The F-150 is the biggest selling vehicle in the United States, and Ford wants to be sure that there are collision repair specialists who know what they're doing the first time a wrecked one rolls into the shop. When an aluminum fender is bent or broken, it behaves differently than steel. Repair shops need to have different tools to perform some aluminum structural repairs, and Ford strongly recommends that they set up separate areas for working on aluminum because of steel-aluminum contamination issues. ICAR in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, a nonprofit organization that trains and certifies repair technicians, will administer the training in conjunction with Ford. The automaker will cover the cost of training for one technician per dealership. Dealerships that want to have more than one trained technician will pay the additional training expense. ICAR is mobilizing a staff of at least 200 instructors who went through a training program of their own. Technicians aren't the only ones who need better understanding of the aluminum repair process. Insurance adjusters need education too. And our next story, boy, it isn't easy to be a Corvette and go in the hole. Officials at the National Corvette Museum had just 2 bits of good news after a very rough week. The sinkhole that swallowed 8 of their classics isn't getting any bigger, and General Motors is sending an ambulance for the battered vets. On social media sites and TV news shows 2 weeks ago, viewers watched security camera replays of 8 classic Corvettes sliding into the 40-foot wide, 30-foot deep chasm that opened in the museum's Sky Dome area, which is connected by a hallway to the main structure in Bowling Green, Kentucky. When the battered classics emerge from the pit, a GM team will attempt restoration. The work will be done in a small shop within GM Design in suburban Detroit that specializes in restoration. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back after this.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to energy-saving bulbs. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome to Oxford Wildcat School News for the week of February 16th, 2014. I'm John Ochins. This being winter break week, happenings are sparse. What is going on is extreme preparation by our bands and orchestras for their Michigan Band and Orchestra Association events. I spoke with the orchestra directors about what our middle school musicians have in store.
And Mr. Zeliko Milejevic, Director of Orchestras for the Oxford High School and the Oxford Middle School. Gentlemen, you just had a wonderful middle school concert here with the 3 orchestras. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Got some pretty important things coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, upcoming, the most current thing that happens after our concert this evening is the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association's Orchestra Festival. It's something that all of our 7th grade, 8th grade students will be participating, but also the concert orchestra and symphony orchestra at the high school. And this is going to be taking place for all 4 of those groups on Saturday, March the 1st. It's the equivalent of the Music Meep. If there was a Music Meep specific, it's something that gathers all of the information that they've been working on, not only for their current program that they've prepared, but also cumulatively from the time that they started playing their instruments, because at Festival there's 3 pieces that every student will perform as part of their normal program.
And it's a wonderful trip for these students that they get to do every spring. What we do is we leave school early in the morning on Friday, and it's an overnight trip, and we take a bus all the way to Mackinac City, and then we take a ferry to Mackinac Island, and we stay there, and we do lots of different activities on the island. There's so much historical sites to see, and we also get to do a music clinic on Saturday morning with a wonderful guest clinician that comes in and works with each of our groups as well. And we get to also enjoy the wonderful features that the island has, such as Grand Hotel, where we get to dine and eat over there as well. It's a wonderful opportunity for the students they get to do. I always look forward to it as well as the students.
Let's just hope the weather is such that you don't need an icebreaker to get to the island.
Yeah, we've been on weather where it's beautiful and sunny, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes even snowed on some
Last May it snowed. It snowed on our last day.
Did it really?
Yeah.
So hopefully good weather this year.
Well,
In addition to that, Don't forget about the high school presentation of Beauty and the Beast coming up in March. We'll have more on that next week. That's the latest Oxford school news. I'm John Ochins. Thanks for joining us.
I see it!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The icy roads and canceled classes on Friday didn't stop the Oxford boys varsity basketball team from teaching a lesson in a hard-fought 55-41 victory over Stony Creek in the Oakland Activities Association Blue Division game. With a 12-6 overall and 10-2 league record, the Wildcats behind Connor Ellsman's 14-point second half overcame an impressive Stony Creek first-half performance to move one step closer to a league title. Heading out of halftime down 22-23, an Ellsman basket gave Oxford a 2-point lead, followed by a three-pointer by Amon Thomas. The Cougars didn't go away, though, with Eric Glendenbach hitting a jumper to close the Oxford lead, and Charlie Carlson nailing a three-pointer to pull within 4 points with just 6:25 remaining in the game. Now, this late-game push was not enough, though, as Ellsman scored 4 straight, finishing with a game-high 19 points, and Delzino Alexander hitting a triple to finish with 14 points to cement the Oxford victory. First-year head coach Stephen Henning said, "They always say that you want to peak at the end of the season, and I see that we're starting to do that. But I want them to have the mentality to come to practice every day and get better." Now, the Wildcats will have a chance to do just this as they play Hazel Park Tuesday before playing Farmington Hills Harrison on Thursday. Staying with the hardwood, the girls' varsity basketball team beat Farmington on Thursday 55-34 to close out the regular season and finish on a 4-game hot streak. The Lady Wildcats showed up focused starting the game with an impressive 29-16 point lead. Scoring leaders were Samantha Medici with 17 points, Jessica Murphy with 15 points, 6 rebounds and 15 assists, and guard Sherilyn Banas adding 5 assists and 5 steals. The girls varsity are picking the right time to heat up, ending their regular season with 14-6 overall and 8-6 OAA White Division record, going into their district game next week in Clarkston. Now let's move to wrestling, where the Wildcats suffered a tough loss on the mat Saturday in the Division II team semifinals to Davison. Coach Paul McDevitt said Davison is strong and number 1 for a reason. We didn't wrestle our best at some of our weight classes, and obviously their superstars got their bonus points. Oxford, who won the state championship in 2011 and has been back to the state quarterfinals in 6 of the past 7 years, stuck around with the Cardinals as long as they could. After 6 matches, the score was tied 12-12 with wins by Oxford's Ben Line at 215 pounds, Zach Woods at 285 pounds, and Jacob Call at 103. But that was as far as the Wildcats would go, with Davison taking the next 8 wins, 4 by fall and 1 by technical fall. Moving to bowling, both boys and girls varsity bowling teams have been having an exciting week, with both teams advancing to the OAA League Tournament Final Four. Unfortunately, that's as far as either team would go, with the girls falling to eventual winners Farmington Harrison and the boys coming up short against their hated rival Clarkston. Earlier in the week, though, both squads showed up Troy Athens, with boys capturing not only the 22-8 match win behind strong performances of Sean McKinney, Brad Wincoop, Drew Pappas, and Brandon Hurlbert, but also an OAA championship. Head coach J.R. Laffner said, "I'm so happy for them in the win and the title they have had their success. We still have regional and state goals, but for tonight they are champions." Now, the girls had a similar result with an impressive 30-0 win behind Alyssa Hurlbert's 204 and 186 games, with Megan Kessler's bowling an impressive 189. Unfortunately, that win ended the girls' regular season, with them finishing with a 6-4 record. Now, February is signing month for NCAA football and other collegiate sports around the nation, and 9 of our very own Wildcat student athletes made their commitment to moving on to play at this next level. Owen Baschutz, Luke Champion, Noah Johnson, Ben Line, Kyle Reason, Cody Roop, and Mitch Tilley have all committed to play college football in the fall, and Samantha Medici and Travis Simmet have inked commitments to move on to play soccer at the next level. The Oxford High School Athletic Department will be honoring these student athletes, along with others who have yet to accept offers, in a ceremony at the OHS Library on April 16th. Now, as our athletic community is losing some of its best athletes to the college ranks, the Wildcats did obtain a new girls soccer coach. Oxford Middle School teacher Mandy Kramer will be the new head JV girls soccer coach and also help assist with some varsity duties. The Michigan State grad, prior to teaching 6th grade science at OMS, played soccer and cross country at Novi High School, and will be seeking her NSCAA National E license this year. Congratulations, Mandy, and welcome to Oxford. I'm Andy Curtis, and that was your Wildcat Sports Update. If you have any ideas for upcoming sports segments or a score that maybe I missed, please send an email to manager@occtv.org. Put sports in the title line, and please be polite. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to OCTV for all your Oxford High School sports updates.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, it's a case of monkey see, other monkey do. A monkey controlling the hand of its unconscious cage mate with its thoughts may sound like animal voodoo, but it is a step towards returning movement to people with spinal cord injuries. The hope is that people who are paralyzed could have electrodes planted in their brains that pick up their intended movements. These electrical signals could then be sent to a prosthetic limb or directed to the person's paralyzed muscles, bypassing the injury to their spinal cord. Ziv Williams at Harvard Medical School in Boston wanted to see if sending these signals to nerves in the spinal cord would also work, as they might ultimately give a greater range of movement from each electrode. His team placed electrodes in a monkey's brain, connecting them via a computer to wires going into the spinal cord of an anesthetized unconscious monkey. The unconscious monkey's limbs served as the equivalent of paralyzed limbs. A hand of the unconscious monkey was strapped to a joystick controlling a cursor that the other monkey could see on a screen. Williams' team had previously had the conscious monkey practice the joystick task for itself and recorded its brain activity to work out which signals correspond to moving the joystick back and forth. Through trial and error, they deduced which nerves to stimulate in the spinal cord of the anesthetized monkey to produce similar movements in that monkey's hand. When both parts were fed into the computer, the conscious monkey was able to move the paralyzed monkey's hand to make the cursor hit a target. The work demonstrates that it is possible to create movement in a paralyzed limb without directly stimulating the muscles. The next step, says Williams, is to achieve more complex movements instead of just moving a joystick in 2 dimensions. We hope to move the arm in many directions, he says. To be functionally useful, you have to have fine movements in 3-dimensional space. Theoretically, the team could have shown the same result using a single monkey and severing its spinal cord, but the resulting injury may have obscured the results, and using 2 monkeys and anesthesia was definitely more humane. Well, next story, these adorable beluga whales just got a bit scary, at least for Inuit hunters who eat their meat. For the first time, Atlantic belugas have been shown to carry an infectious parasite called Toxoplasma gondii, which is normally spread via cat feces. Michael Grigg of the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, who announced the findings at the 2014 American Association of the Advancement of Science meeting, believes the spread could be due to thawing sea ice in the Arctic. The ice normally acts as a barrier to pathogens, says Grigg. It's not the first time T. gondii has infected marine animals. It has also been found in dolphins and sea otters. But beluga meat is eaten by humans. It is part of the traditional diet of the Inuit. Undercooked or raw meat could lead to infection. Toxoplasmosis is common in humans. Estimates have it that up to 1/3 of the world's human population is infected with it, usually without showing any symptoms. But it is dangerous for people with compromised immune systems and for fetuses. By affecting your behavior, infection can even increase your chance of a road accident. Yikes. And in our next story, this luckless male praying mantis is being eaten alive by the female he is mating with. Female praying mantises are famous for devouring their lovers, but they don't actually get to do the deed as often as people might think, says William Brown of the State University of New York in Fredonia, who worked with filmmaker Phil Hastings to record the mantis's behavior. Cannibalism happens in about 16% of the encounters, he says. The male often gets away. The biggest risk factor is simply how hungry the female is. Chinese mantids breed in the autumn, and unlike many animals that do so in the spring. Summer is ending and other insect food is becoming scarce, says Brown. Males are large compared with other food items, so guess what? They're nutritious. The females often go for the male's head first, possibly because he approaches her from the front. This severs a nerve called the subesophageal ganglion, removing this male's sexual inhibitions and causing him to mate for longer. After this, says Brown, he's willing to mate with anything. Your finger, a pencil, it doesn't matter. The male can mate perfectly well without his head. There is a myth that the males can only mate once their heads are bitten off, but Brown says that isn't true. Well, that's all for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Montana's Rib and Chop House, known for their delicious baby back ribs, certified Angus steaks, and fresh Eastern seafood dinners, located at 700 North Lapeer Road. Welcome to another segment of the news we call your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your weekly calendar of local Oxford and Addison community events, including charity, special fundraisers, and general community information. Now, if you or your organization would like help to get your message out to the public, contact us for detailed information at our studio phone number at 248-628-9658, or you can go to our website at occtv.org. Now, the Leonard Summer Strawberry Festival Committee is seeking volunteers to help coordinate the annual Strawberry Festival to be held July of this year. They're looking for people who want to get involved with booth rentals, entertainment, and almost every facet of interest. Requirements for all jobs: be prepared to meet nice people, down to earth, and have fun. The Leonard Summer Strawberry Festival Committee meets at 6:30 p.m. on the first Monday of every month at Roland Hall, 23 East Elmwood Street in Leonard. For more information, call Shar Southerby at 248-628-5924 or Phyllis Rowe at 248-628-5471. Now, February is kindergarten enrollment month for Oxford School District. Pre-enroll by going online at oxfordschools.org. Parents should bring all required documents to the district's central office at 10 North Washington Street in downtown Oxford. Documents include 2 proofs of residency, original birth certificate, health appraisal completed by a doctor, immunization record of vision test, and your driver's license. For more information, call 248-969-5019. Saturday, March 1st, 2 p.m. at the Oxford Public Library, come and see the entertaining act from one of public's favorite programs on TV, America's Got Talent. Kelsey and her dancing dog, Bailey, will be at the library performing her act and sharing some of her doggy friend training techniques. To sit in on the show, register online or telephone 248-628-3034, extension 222. Friends and family won't want to miss this unique show. The number again is 248-628-3034, extension 222. The Oakland County Health Division is offering free vision screening for all county children entering kindergarten. This screening is required under state law. To make an appointment, call 248-424-7070. Remember, it's free. Tuesday, March 11th, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Oxford Public Library. Learn how to make your own home cleaning products: salves, toothpaste, deodorants, and flavored infused vinegars and oils. For more information, call 248-628-3034. Addison Township and Lake Orion Townships are still both seeking volunteers for Meals on Wheels drivers. If you're a senior and you have 1 hour per week to share, or 1 hour every other week, you can make sure that no senior goes hungry. For more information, call 248-628-3388 or 248-693-0440. On Tuesdays, March 18th, April 15th, and May 2nd, at the Oxford Public Library, the ever-popular traditional bingo returns. Bring your friends and win an assortment of popular books. For more information, you can call 248-628-3034. Now, if you have a local business, or if you're interested in an organization wanting to show your support for local Oxford school sports, music concerts, or any of the many programs broadcast from our TV station, you could become a sponsor or an underwriter on OCTV. It's easy and it's inexpensive. For more information, contact our TV station manager, Bill Service, at 248-628-9658, or you can send him a message of interest to his email address at manager@occtv.org. We at Oxford Community TV would like our television viewing public to learn more about your club or organization's special upcoming event or charity. So if you would like to get your special event mentioned on our television show, just call us at 248-628-9658 or go to our website at occtv.org. Now, a final reminder, check our OCTV viewing schedule for my good friend Bill Service, who always has interesting local stories and interviews on his Our Community Access program. This is Oxford Community Television, OCTV. I'm your host, Elgin Nichols. We invite you to join us again for the next segment of your weekly calendar of events.